In 476 AD marked the end of the Roman Empire in the West. The fall of Rome was a pivotal point in human history, and ended the Roman rule in the Western Roman Empire thousands of years after Rome's foundation. We will see in this video the reasons behind the collapse of this grand empire. In the 3rd and 4th century AD, the empire is geographically intact, but the Huns' invasion of the eastern part of the empire led to mass immigration and invasion in Roman-controlled territory. It was Rome's failure to contain these immigration and invasions that brought it to its end. In 376, unimaginable numbers of Goths and other known Roman people fleeing from the Huns came into Roman-controlled land. They were exploited by corrupt officials rather than effectively resettled, and then took up arms, joined by more Goths and by some Alans and Huns. They took up arms against Rome and so started the Gothic War. It was a disastrous war for Rome, and at the Battle of Adrianople in 376 in the eastern part of the empire, Rome was defeated, and it led to massive riots, and 2/3 of the Roman army were killed, and the emperor himself was slain. But in response to that crisis, the Emperor Theodosius I allowed the Goths to settle in Roman territory, which was not seen before. But the Emperor Theodosius was weakened by 2 major civil wars. He overcame them, but was weakened since his military forces were depleted. Tensions between the Goths and Romans started again when Alaric, king of the Visigoths, decided to stand against Rome. Alaric served in the Roman army under Theodosius, but he became disillusioned with Rome after Theodosius died and appointing his sons to rule each half of the empire. Alaric decided to march on a weak Western Roman Empire. He besieged Rome in 401, but failed and started again in 408, starving the city until it would surrender. He tried to get land from his people and installed a rival emperor to represent Alaric in negotiation with Honorius. But the Roman Emperor Honorius refused to negotiate, and Alaric marched a 3rd time in Rome in 410 and sacked the city. The sack of Rome was a decisive moment in the history of the Western Roman Empire. From there, the end of it was near. A contesting emperor of the name of Constantine III rose against Rome in Britannia and Gaul, and managed to take these 2 regions. The Romans in Britannia revolted against Constantine, asking the legitimate Emperor Honorius for help and assistance, but he refused their demands. But they managed to drive out Constantine's forces without the help of Honorius. From then, Britannia was lost to Rome permanently, and Constantine was executed in 411. But another threat was yet to come. Gothic tribes managed to make their way through the Roman Empire, across Gaul and settling in Roman Hispania, and created the Kingdom of the Suebi. Also, the Vandals and Alans, led by King Genseric, made their way through Gibraltar into North Africa and managed to conquer most of North Africa, with the city of Carthage and even Sicily establishing the Vandalic Kingdom. Visigoths also took advantage of the situation, capturing parts of southern Gaul and allying with Emperor Honorius, who gifted them western Gaul in exchange for their help in driving away the barbarians in Hispania. But the alliance was shortly lived as the Visigoths started taking undefended Roman land before the invasion of Hispania. But the retaliation of the Hunnic invasion forced them to ally with the Romans once more. But after the Huns managed to wage chaos in Gaul, the Visigoths once again attacked their crippled ally, managing to take the last part of Hispania that was under Roman control, thus creating the Visigothic kingdom. At this point, the Western Roman Empire was very few left. In 475, a Roman general by the name Orestes deposed his emperor Julius Nepos, placed his son Flavius Romulus Augustulus to the throne. At the same moment, the Foederates, the barbaric soldiers at the service of Rome, sought land for their service, and asked Orestes for assistance. But he refused, and so they turned to Odoacer, an official in the army, and led the group against Orestes and deposed Romulus in 476, but spared his life. Also, one of the causes of the Roman Empire's collapse was the economy. The finance of Rome started collapsing because of high tax. Therefore, land farmers couldn't support the pressures, and left leaving lumps of land untouched and therefore not producing any goods for Rome. One of the reasons of such taxes was the fact that the Roman Empire didn't have sufficient money to invest in the empire's land and to pay for a Roman military, and needed to raise money, so taxes and land was the chosen method. But as well, the separation of the empire into two parts led to the Eastern Empire having more wealthy provinces than the Western Empire, as the Western Empire relied much more on agriculture than the East. Christianity did play a role in the collapse because of the Christian revolts and the fight between them and the pagans. Also, a Roman having a pagan religion could in their belief deify someone like the deifying of Caesar by Augustus, thus giving more strength and power to the emperor, but also he had the ability to make the invaded population more integrated into Roman culture. The causes of the fall of the Roman Empire are vast. The empire had its highest geographical reach in 117 AD under the Emperor Trajan, but it led to communication problems because of it being so vast. The Eastern Roman Empire, being separated from the Western Empire, lasted until its fall to the Ottomans in 453 AD.